Hello and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike and I play with one New Orleans style Pokemon Po-Boy on the field.
I'm Kevin. I'm done sweating.
Oh, you're done sweating?
I'm
You're going
forever.
into summer.
You're
going into summer, my guy.
Done sweating. I've done it all in New Orleans. I've sweated as much as I'm going to sweat for the remainder of the year. I have no water left.
I have been rendered unable to create water from my body.
Listen,
it just doesn't work.
I take creatine for biceps. All of the water's in my muscles. The rest of it sweat out my body. No water left. I
take protein powder. It swells up with the water that I ingest and nothing sweats out.
That's what the TikTok guru told me.
Yeah. The TikTok guru told you to take creatine. Like, this is some big, like, high heavy hitting like revelation that they have. I've gone to the mountaintops. I've gone to the mountaintops and I come down with a message. Creatine, take it. Oh, got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, I was
also
actually just...
pre-workout before you work out sometimes makes you excited to work out.
Oh, is that how that works? I just drink a coffee.
Just caffeine.
Yeah, it's just caffeine.
Same thing.
No, I was legitimately, I found out about that when I was just walking through the health and beauty aisle. I was like, what does this do? Then I Googled it. I'm like, oh, it makes me stronger. Okay. Neat.
Yeah.
Will I die in a couple years? Well,
jury's out.
Who knows?
We'll all find out. We'll all find out in a very sad way.
And we'll all blame it on the vaccine anyway. It's like, oh, the reason I have an extra tail is because...
Oh no, I don't like it. All right. So yes, New Orleans was very hot. Over the weekend, yes. Kevin and I were in New Orleans. We missed the pod last week. Thank you for being so patient because we were in New Orleans. More specifically, Kevin was in New Orleans on Thursday. I was in New Orleans on Friday. And I had the pleasure of walking from my Airbnb around town because we didn't want to go directly to the convention center.
Oh, you were drenched.
And then we went to the convention center. But during none of that excursion did we think, oh, you know what, maybe let's hop in an Uber. We were like, no, you know what, let's walk.
We've gone this far.
Yeah. So we walked from the Airbnb to the French Quarter. We walked around a little bit. We saw the big, like, I guess Main Street with the Voodoo chicken and daiquiris or whatever.
Bourbon Street or Canal Street? One of the two.
Canal Street. Also, if you hear rain, I guess there's a hurricane that just started outside my house. So that's fun.
That's where all my sweat went.
I
it
guess
evaporated into Canada.
And you know what? I'm not going to get wet at all. So anyway, from that, we finally got something to eat. We had beignets for the first time, and honestly, kind of mid. But from there, we walked to the convention center.
Mike would rather have a Tim Hortons donut than a beignet, confirmed.
It's just that everywhere gives you 3 of them, and after the first one, like I'm
done with the other 2.
I'm done before I even finish the first one.
Do you know why they gave you 3 of them? Because they can't sell those 3 otherwise. So they just
give
it to you all at once.
I wholeheartedly believe they're easy to make.
I'm sure they are. It's probably just a couple ingredients. I don't want to say a lot of the southern food is easy to make, but it's not. But it's basic ingredients. It's like you got grits, you got shrimp, you got gumbo, whatever that is.
Gumbo is everything. It is.
Every ingredient in your fridge is now in a plate. But
this was, go ahead.
No, funnel cakes taste better. Just
interesting. Interesting.
Just deep fried batter with powdered sugar on top.
Ooh.
It's very similar.
Because I can agree with that. Because I'm of the mind that like Timbits are better than donuts. The small bite-sized versions of the bigger things, donut holes are better than the donuts that they come from. Because like if I could have a sample of a donut and then later on sample another donut. I mean, this is all just an argument to be like, portion your food better. Take a bite out of the donut and then leave the donut for later.
No, then they get stale. You can't do that.
But then they get stale. Exactly.
See, welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a loaded funnel cake though?
What's a loaded funnel
This might
cake?
be too American for you, Michael, but it's a
Maybe.
funnel cake with literally every ice cream topping in the world on top of it. Loaded funnel cake. I got you, bro.
Okay.
This is the greatest thing you've ever seen.
I cannot wait. I've got to
so
see
good.
what it. So just every.
It's like there's
ice
different
cream
flavors.
topping. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
strawberry one.
Uh-huh.
Explain to the people what you're seeing right now.
So, for those who aren't familiar with the funnel cake, what is the funnel cake?
Funnel cake is just it's like I think it's pancake batter.
Strings of pancake batter.
Yes. You put it in a squeeze tube and you just literally go in the fryer like this.
Oh, and you just go off.
And then you flip it, and when it's done,
you just spin it around in a little cyclone, and it comes out as a spiral, which is the word I wanted to say initially. So on top of this goop, this hardened fried goop, right? They've taken some icing sugar and they've icing sugared it, all up. Delicious.
Everywhere.
They've taken all the strawberries and just put them on top of the funnel cakes. On top of the strawberries, they took one giant hearty scoop of vanilla ice cream and just put it right on top. Then on top of the ice cream scoop, they took their whipped cream and they're just like, all right, let's make this as high as we can possibly make it without it falling off. It is about 2 times the height of the vanilla ice cream. Yes. And then on top of all that, they take strawberry drizzle, like strawberry syrup, as if the strawberries weren't enough, all of the strawberries, and sprinkled it all over everything.
That's a cheat day meal if I've ever seen one.
It looks beautiful. If I was at the, if I was in Wonderland is the only place I can think of, Six Flags, I would love to go walking around with one of those. But, oh my gosh, that is my sugar quota for the next foreseeable future. I'll let the doctors tell me when it's okay to eat sugar again. And then Kevin sends me a bunch of other ones, right? It's got some ones with just all of it's Oreo Mountain. It's frozen Oreo Mountain.
There's some with fruity pebbles on it.
Yeah, Barney my Pebbles. Yeah, they're there. Fred, they're there. And then there's just the beautiful looking like Black Forest cake almost. Looks kind of like. It's like vanilla chocolate and maybe that's a maraschino cherry on top. Ooh.
There's no better combination than a hot something with a cold something on top.
Yes.
And then having them both at the same time.
Yeah. You got what's another example of that? Because I'm with you.
At Applebee's.
A blondie. Yes. Just a brownie with a thing of ice cream on top.
Big scoop of ice cream on top, nothing else.
Totally. That's kind of what makes banana splits so good. Deep fried banana. Have you ever had one of those?
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah.
They're the best because it's something, kind of room temperature with something hot.
Well, you have to freeze it.
Ice cream on it. Yeah.
In order to deep fry, you have to freeze it. That's what they do. They freeze dry and then they
but then
it
becomes the mid of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. It's so good. Anyway, New Orleans was fun. Po' boys are okay.
Yeah. Okay. Po' boys are fine.
Yeah.
My next hope, I guess the next part of my mountaintop of culinary expertise and experience is going to be a Maine lobster roll.
Oh, I didn't have a lobster roll. What is my problem? I didn't have a lobster roll.
No, it's not even your fault. They didn't have any. There was no lobster po' boys. It was like oysters, gators, shrimp. But I guess now I got to have a lobster roll for Maine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And luckily, we're going to have the chance to watch this. Luckily, we're going to have the chance to do this because in 2025, North American International Championships will once again be held in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yay!
Yeah. So between New Orleans and Ohio, because this was probably a lot of people's first, oh my gosh, that looks so good, the lobster roll. Sorry, need to bring myself back. And we're talking about Pokemon.
I'm suddenly starving.
I know, right? Oops. This was a lot of people's first experience going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people who are like diehard, regionals and nationals goers and don't spend a lot of time traveling to other places in the US or
Imagine
just in general.
To
Imagine
not
traveling.
play Pokemon. It's wild.
Yeah, I don't understand. So going to New Orleans, this was a new experience for a lot of people. So I mean, it's cool that they just get to kind of do it again for another year. I wonder if there is a longer standing contract in play here.
There must be, right? Yeah, usually you don't just do back-to-back years without like a multi-year deal.
Right.
And this is like something you have to do with the city, right? It's like, hey, I'd like to come back for a couple of years. And they're like, hey, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I mean, that's full disclosure. I used to work in events and work in venues and that kind of stuff. And a lot of what happens in the venues is decided through the tourism board of that state, of that province, of the country in some cases. That's when your Taylor Swifts go and say like, hey, I want to do a tour. And then they go and talk with like the UN of travel. And they're like, okay, so we want you here, here, and here. We can pay you this much to do it. And that's kind of how that tends to work. So Pokemon, same kind of thing. Like Pokemon's a mega corporation that has a lot of pull.
A lot of pull. Yeah.
That's
the word.
Yeah, you got people traveling for it. If you hold a Pokemon regional or a Pokemon national, your airline will see a spike.
Congratulations. Your airport will make money.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we will buy literally everything in your city while we're there.
Well, it was really cool too, because your experience with that, I guess from a competitor standpoint, you could get your ticket at the airport.
That was the greatest thing ever. They should do that all the time everywhere. Because it was so easy to find, because I guess the way that New Orleans airport works is they all kind of congregate in a central terminal from every separate terminals. And they stuck the ticket pickups right there. And it was even easier to find because they had a jazz band playing the whole time. So you just follow the jazz music.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just had a jazz band playing on a stage, just going at it.
That sounds like so much fun.
Over and over. And then, the ticket pickup cost me like 5 minutes of my life.
Wow. And then the next day you just got to kind of walk in. Yeah.
Got to walk in. Didn't have to wake up too early. The other cool thing was the opening ceremony. So round one started a little late. I mean, it was scheduled to start at like what, 8:30 like it always is. Yeah. Oh no, it's scheduled to start at 9. We have to be in our seats by 8:30. It officially started at 9:30. But they had like a giant marching band and people on stilts just walking through the whole thing, kind of just playing. It was great.
Through the convention center?
Yeah. While everyone's seated.
What?
And we all got up. We all whipped our phones out and started recording. It was a fun time. You could probably see it on the live stream. If you went
100%. Yeah. I'm sure.
Mike wasn't there for day one the majority of the time, so he doesn't know this, but it was great.
That's so cool.
And everyone was making jokes like, oh, they hired this band just in case the internet doesn't work.
But I mean, it worked.
We were all entertained, yes.
I think that's okay. It's better than sitting there in silence for the next 20 to 30 minutes while they figure out internet issues. I heard also there was a power outage.
There was a couple of power outages, yes.
A couple.
So there was a power outage. There was one bad power outage in the middle of a round, so a lot of matches had to be restart. Thankfully, I wasn't affected by this power outage. My tournament run was either I went 2-0 or I got 0-2'd. It was really fast for me. It was
Which one was this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. It was one or the other. I hardly went to game 3 on any of my sets. I was almost always the first one to finish, whether it was a good reason or a bad reason. But as it would be with Hard Trick Room. But also, the power went out, stream went down, matches had to get reset. So we had our lunch break that we wanted, essentially. There was just like an hour gap between 2 different rounds.
Mm-hmm. I had heard there was some kind of like car accident outside the venue.
It's nothing it's not the venue's fault. Someone
a police
hit a power
car
line.
went into a power line.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, we're throwing them a bone and saying, okay, you know what? External situations happened this time.
Like low key, that's not the worst that could have happened. They could have been off for a long time. Like they did a really good job.
The
getting
worst
back
that
up.
has happened either, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's cool. So the experience in getting in was a positive one. That's great.
Yeah, it wasn't a problem.
How was your run?
I went 5-4 overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
again, either 0-2 or 2-0.
as I was flying in that day, right? I was keeping up with everybody on Discord. I was on arcane9.gg, just kind of refreshing the page every now and then. I didn't actually come to go and see them until like round 7, but I was watching the whole time. And one thing I noticed is that everybody was either winning or losing, but like they were doing that on the same round. So all of the same time, the group of people that we go with, there were like 6 of us. Everybody won game 1. Everybody won game 2. And then everybody lost like game 3 or 4. It was pretty wild to see that.
Yeah. We were tying. I think our whole friend group ended up going 5-4, which is we all got to the same place. We broke up there at the end, but we got to the same place. Did you see the Jamal Williams interview?
Yes, I did.
That was the greatest thing ever. I'm
wonderful.
so happy they found Jamal. I don't know if they found Jamal Williams or if Jamal Williams went there on his own accord. It was just like, I'm here. Tweeted it out. Pokemon saw, like, hey, get an interview with him.
What has brought you here today, Jamal?
I just like anime and I love Pokemon and I like being here. And I'm here to support my Eevee.
It's the best, man.
I love it so much. I think it's so cool that that just happened.
I got a lot of football fans at work. I just sent this to all of them. I was like, I got a video of the power outage if you want to see it too.
Oh, sure. He truly does just seem like a fun person to be around.
He has an Eevee hat.
Yeah. And he's there repping his boy Eevee. Oh, no. Yeah, wow. When that happened, the screens went nuts and then they went off.
But well, you know what's funny is that every single game there had to reset except for, no, even Go has to reset.
Yours.
No. TCG just kept going because you don't need to stop. You got cardboard. You just like.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it looks kind of dark.
Okay.
Okay.
Just keep going. But United had to get reset. Go had to get reset. VGC had to get reset. TCG just going at it.
And you said you were done by the time
it happened. I actually didn't experience the power outage because I was, I was looking for food.
Right.
I had left the convention center to go look for some food.
As did the police officer. Couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it. Found a pole.
Oops. There's a pole there. I was looking for a pole boy.
Pole boy, yes.
Yeah. Found a pole. But that's fun. And I like to imagine that, you had won that, you left the place and then all the lights go off. Your opponent's like, if I had just stalled a little bit more, we could have reset this whole thing.
Could have started over.
That would have been great, but such is. Okay, so we talked about your experience getting in there. We talked about your experience going 5-4 with everybody else. How does it feel to, again, I know you don't really like to look back at the run, but how did it feel going 5-4 in this?
Well, no, I learned a lot. No,
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I guess for some context, my team was Calyrex Ice, Hatterene, Indeedee, Annihilate. What else did I have? Torkoal and Ursaluna. That's my 6. I realized I had a bad matchup into a specific little fish. So my going into the tournament, I was like, my Calyrex Ice, I had to decide. Regulation cheat. Yeah. Well, the irony of that giving me the hardest time at NAIC, and you've been sticking it in the videos for like a month. You were trying to tell me the whole time. I wasn't listening.
I'm not saying I'm a genius, but
you're a genius.
I'm a genius.
I had a Calyrex Ice. Typically, Calyrex Ice either goes fire or water as their Terra. I decided to go grass because I'm special. special teams, special players, special plays. What's up, brother?
Brother.
So yeah, I had grass terror because I was like, oh, Mungus ruins me. So I guess I should be worried about Mungus. I mean, we're seeing it at the top of the ladder everywhere. We're seeing it at the top of these tournaments everywhere.
Right.
Let me prepare for Mungus. And turns out I just had nothing for the fish. So there I was struggling against my fish. The fish was the only thing that could stop my Trick Room in all of my matches. It was only the fish.
Wow.
Everything else, I got it up. I won in 2 turns. Problem solved. The fish comes out. I'm just like, okay. Because the problem also is the fish is 100 base speed, and a lot of them go either sashed or scarf, and both are bad because
I see.
the Annihilate can't outspeed it because Annihilate isn't base 100 speed. So they're going to outspeed me, hit me, stop me from final gambiting, and then make me sad. Or their sash, I can't final gambit them to one-shot them, and then I can't set Trick Room because they one-shot me and make me sad. There's 9 times out of 10 I was sad when I saw a fish.
So when you were looking back on it, like at the time, I remember you had said that it was your choice in Terra.
Yeah, it was my grass Terra on my horse. Going back, if I'm going to change anything on my team, I'm just going to make that a fire or a water Terra. Probably water Terra so I don't die to every ogre I see.
Right.
Yeah, I'd probably make that horse a water Terra, and I think I could have won those games because that means I would have set Trick Room up, and I would have at least had some turn to do something. I also dodged... believe it or not, out of my 9 rounds, and I played all 9 rounds because there was a chance that I can go 6-3, but I actually went against like one of the highest ranking players in Italy in the last round, and he defeated me in the quickest. He saved me a lot of time, I guess.
Did you go against Derbesti?
Huh?
No, somebody
I went
we know
against
went
Nico.
up against. Oh, okay,
Nico's a
okay.
good Italian player.
Somebody
Yeah.
that we know went up against it. Believe it was Michael Derbesti, but I can't remember who. Doesn't matter. Okay, cool. So you went up against Nico and he trounced you. Fun.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Changing your horse to water.
Water, yeah, would have saved me a lot of time. Would have got me some wins. Oh, I was out of my 9 rounds. I was able to dodge every wide guard ever.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I like the game threw me a bone. Was like, okay, fine, you're not gonna play against a single wide guard, but you know what? Here's every fish in the world. Specifically in 4 matches. I'm pretty sure all my 4 losses were against the Chiyu.
I need to write this down before I forget. There's plenty of fish in NAIC. That's going to be the title of the episode.
Stop it.
Yay.
Oh, you did it. Oh,
Yay.
you did it.
Found a good
Greatest
one.
title of the year. Dang it.
Cool. Okay. So anything more to say about your NAIC run?
No, I'm probably still going to keep using this team for the remainder of Regulation G. Too bad that I just won't be participating in it. But like
Sure.
I said,
Well, but
I'll
also
still
you
play
gotta
the
see if those changes that you made actually make sense.
on Patreon, I'll probably keep playing this team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just make that one singular change and nothing else. Because I'm 95% sure that every loss I had was to the fish.
Right. And of course that is again patreon.com/Pokésports.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm legally obligated to play Jazz Baby every time you mention the Patreon. So.
I had to skip a week for NAIC, but we're back next week. Don't worry, guys.
Yep. Very similar experience for the rest of the people that we went with. You know, ending up 5-4. They had their ups, they had their downs, and I mean, really, I think. Is that not how it's supposed to bell curve anyway? Is like the majority of people will end up 4-5 or 5-4?
Yeah, that has to happen because the people at the top have to win more than the people at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people at the bottom have to lose more than the people at the top. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So it
it's
gets a
gotta
little
happen.
chunky in the middle. And if you guys are wondering, so Kevin, what's going to happen to the YouTube channel now that you finished NAIC? Well, we got Squawkabilly coming out later this week.
So there's that. So Kevin, is the quality of content going to go up or downhill?
Yes,
Yeah.
it sure will.
No. We'll be fine. It's going to be some interesting waters for the next little bit. Between now and Worlds, there's going to be a lot of people doing their theory crafting with their teams, a lot of think tanking, making sure you're all set up properly for Worlds. That apparently Pokemon is just kind of sending out a bunch of content creators for, and we'd love to go.
Hey, Pokemon, hey, I applied.
Yep.
If you guys were curious, it's been 46 days since the last Psyduck team. Also, it's been 40. Context: there's a person in the comment section. I can find his name. I'll give him credit. He deserves credit. 46 days in a row.
46 days in a row.
Oh, I responded to him, so I gotta defilter. Okay, Boxy Norris 55.
Boxy Norris 55
has been posting or commenting on every single video since my last Psyduck team, counting down the last time I used the Psyduck team or a Psyduck.
Are we Boxy Norris? So this is simultaneously the scene girl from early YouTube plus Chuck Norris.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm in. I'm here. I'm here for it. Okay. Well, I guess while we're on the topic of NAIC, let's talk about how everybody else did. People who are not you or are not our close friend group. One thing that I will note right off the bat is I'm not seeing.
Hold on, there's a lot of funnel cakes on my way up.
There's so many funnel cakes. Yeah. Wolf Glick actually went 22nd. Wow.
I was watching really good on day one.
He sure did. I watched a couple of his matches, and I'm like, this guy's going top 8 for sure this time, because his team was just looking so spiffy.
Said he was what, 22nd? Okay.
Yeah.
That team is scary.
It's stacked, right? Calyrex, Shadow, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Urshifu Rapid Strike with Pelipper and Farigiraf. Like, it has everything that you'd need, but I guess not quite enough.
Sorry, I was just looking at the top 8. Scroll up to the top 8 real quick. Just look at that middle Pokemon. Urshifu. Can't even do it. I can't even do it. 8 Urshifu, 7 Urshifus, and finally an Overquill.
Yeah.
Urshifu, Overquill?
Urshifu.
Physical.
Yeah, really. Overquill? So yeah, we'll be talking about the top 4 as we usually do, but big shout out to Henry Rich, who came 8th, walked away with 250 championship points. By the way, this is NAIC. This is the one where they give out the big money. Yeah, they give out money for this one. Money. Henry Rich got 250 championship points and $5,000, as did everybody else from 5th to 8th. He came in with a Kyogre, Rillaboom, Volcarona, Overquill, Tornadus Incarnate, and Landorus Incarnate. So it came in with the double genie.
I would be so sad if I got 33rd place in this tournament.
Why?
Because 33rd place only gets championship points, and then 32nd place gets $2,000.
$2,000. Kyle Livinghouse.
That's a heck of a cutoff.
You squeaked your way into the top 32, my guy.
That's a quick cutoff there. It's like you either get $2,000 or nothing.
Wow. Okay, so yes, those people got 2K. 5th to 8th got 5K. 4th and 3rd got 320 championship points and $7,000. Second got 400 championship points, $10,000, and their 2024 Worlds invite. And the top 1 player got 500 championship points, $15,000 US, and their 2024 Worlds invite.
Brother, they got a college tuition. Like,
yeah. You can put yourself through a life-changing experience with $15,000, whatever that might be. Are you going to college? Are you taking a night course? Are you going to buy equipment to do something? You can change your life with $15,000.
You could buy a Tesla.
You could buy, you know what? If you really wanted to, you can start your...
You could build a Tesla.
You could build a Tesla, actually. Head on over to the Tesla Corporation and say, I have $15,000. Can I build one of these? And they're like, no, what?
No.
No.
That's not even enough for the engine.
Absolutely not. Not true. Hold on. Wait a second. Let's not pretend that their profit margins are not through the roof.
Does an electric car even have an engine? No.
Does an electric car cost $300 to make? Maybe. Maybe. All right. Coming in fourth was Yan Sim from Brazil, who ended up winning with an Iron Hands, Miraidon, Whimsicott, Farigiraf, Urshifu Dark, and Chi Yu.
Disgusting.
So there's your Chi Yu, yeah. We don't like any of these Chi Yu players.
No. I would have lost to this team.
Yeah. But yet again, here is that Miraidon and Iron Hands combo.
Oh, look at this Iron Hands. Listen, Iron Hands has officially overtaken Raging Bolt in the top 8. We did it, guys.
Oh, that
we
happened.
were right about a prediction. It didn't win the tournament, but you know, it's fine.
Well, you know. But still. So seeing that Iron Hands and Miraidon combo out there is really great. So much so that you're seeing a ton of Rillabooms out there right now just to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen. Iron Hands is now a Pokemon where you can go and run Assault Vest and still have its defenses not be absolute trash. You can have it increase its defense while increasing special defense with an Assault Vest. So really, really good stuff there. Nothing too special that I'm seeing with this group of 6. It's just a good set of Pokemon played well. Ooh, the Chi-Yu's ground type.
Ooh. Oh, 4 Miraidons.
Yeah, 4 Miraidons, 4 Raging Bolts, because it's got Terra Blast in there. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good fish. Coming in third was Edu. Edu from, where's Edu from?
From Portugal.
Oh, is that right?
Shut up, Mike. I can't tell if you were joking or not. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh, yeah, the most beautiful interaction with him, though, at NAIC.
Oh, yeah.
I
can't repeat it because it's a lot of bad words.
Sure.
But we cursed at each other in Portuguese and embraced, yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. It was very fun to watch.
You don't know this, but me and Edu, we've been talking loosely since 2014 because we were both in the draft league together. It's like our friend Ryan had the PDL draft league, which was a Pokemon Doubles League, is what it stood for at the time.
Basically, PGC.
And he was in it. It was Baby Edu and Baby Kevin. We were both in it.
Wow. Wow. Almost 11 years ago.
I'm the reason he's a world champion.
You've done it. Wow. I hope you take all the credit, as one should.
But no, it was good meeting you, Edu.
Yeah, and congratulations on winning 320 championship points and $7,000. That is nothing
good
to shake
players.
a stick at.
Good
Players, good. He did it with a Smeargle.
You bet he did. You know what's crazy? I was crazy. I wasn't talking directly about Smeargle earlier in that day, but I was talking about how crazy it would be if a Pokemon had Follow Me and Wide Guard at the exact same time, because typically Pokemon that have Follow Me don't have Wide Guard. Doesn't exist. It only exists on Smeargle.
Right.
And here we are.
Lo and behold, Smeargle with Spore, Follow Me, Wide Guard, and Spiky Shield. A single taunt. Just one taunt. If you look at that team sheet and you see taunt just written there, doesn't matter where, you're not bringing Smeargle.
You don't bring Smeargle. It doesn't matter where.
No. Smeargle, Raging Bolt, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Calyrex Shadow.
Good team's good.
Good team's good. I mean,
Nasty Plot, Follow Me, turn 1. Win.
Yeah, there's a lot of setup here that I'm seeing on this team, more than usual, right? Like your Incineroar has Will-O-Wisp and Parting Shot. Your Raging Bolt has Calm Mind Protect. Your Calyrex Shadow has Nasty Plot Protect. Your Smeargle is just all that.
Yeah, the thing with like setup moves, it's like a lot of people stray away from setup moves because since you're only allowed to bring 4 Mons in VGC, you want to have coverage so that you can cover the majority of typing. But if you're a good team builder that can build a very well-balanced team that hits every type that you need, you can have setup moves there to punish protects. It's like, okay, I'm predicting you to protect this turn. Calm Mind. Now what are you going to do next turn? Good luck. You can't knock me out anymore.
Right. Coming in second was Aurelien Sola from France. And they came in with Iron Hands, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Terapagos, Fluttermane, and Chi-Yu.
Ooh.
There's our second Chi-Yu. So
there's our second Iron Hands.
This one's a ghost. This is the Chi-Yu that I'm used to. Is a ghost Chi-Yu with Heat Wave, Overheat, Protect, Dark Pulse. Like that's pretty standard to me. Ground Chi-Yu, that's pretty neat.
I still would have lost to this.
Sure. Well, because there was a fish.
Yeah, it's a fish. Once you see fish, you lose.
Yeah, there's plenty of fish in NAIC.
It's actually a pretty interesting team. You got Specs Terrapagos with Terra Starstorm, Dark Pulse, Tri Attack, and Earth Power. That's nuts.
Ooh.
I guess just for situations where you don't terrestrialize, you might as well try to freeze them with Tri Attack.
That's true. I don't really see Tri Attack too much in any meta.
Like I've seen Hyper Beam before, because that's like, okay, that's the Oko button if you can't terrestrialize. But Tri Attack, it's got to be just for hacks, right?
It's pretty good. Grimsnarl with Light Clay, with the dual screens, Thunderwave and Foul Play. First time I've seen Grimsnarl in a long time, but here it is.
It used to be everywhere in Sword and Shield. It was like a main staple of Renya's Sun, but it fell off super hard. They gave it a new move, Parting Shot, and it somehow still fell off.
Yeah. Well, because people like wanted it for a long time, right? Like people were crying for Parting Shot on Grimsnarl in, was it Sword and Shield?
Yeah.
But then they immediately power crept it out when Scarlet and Violet came out. Or
you know what it is too?
Really, like Incineroar is just better by and large.
What it is too is I think the combination of Dynamax and screens is what made Screams more wanted, right? Like the fact that you can set up screens and then double your HP. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's basically a triple screen.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more valuable in Dynamax meta than terrestrialization.
Sure. And then coming in first was Patrick Connors from the US of A, who got his 2024 World Invite, 500 championship points, and $15,000. And of course, came in with the Calyrex Ice, the Rillaboom, Incineroar, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Pelipper, and Raging Bolt. And that, my friends, is one Pokemon away from the team that I led this whole discussion with, that being Wolfquick's team. It's just a different Calyrex.
What's really cool about this team is you can run, you can either just run your good stuff, your Grass, Water, Fire Core, your Pelipper in the back, and Raging Bolt. Yeah. But you could also just bring Calyrex Ice and Rapid Strike Urshifu with Choice Scarf, and then just start coaching. And then just start Glacial Lancing and Glacial Lancing and Glacial Lancing every single turn that you can. They can't lower your defense and they can't lower your attack because you have Clear Amulet. And hey, if they're faster than you, whatever, you Trick Room.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gross. Even just like on the first turn there, yeah, right? Like just coach the Calyrex Ice, you Trick Room, turn 2, Glacial Lance forever.
And this one's a Water Terra, so it won't lose to Chiyu.
And it has high horsepower, so you can Terra Water and actually do something about the Chiyu.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, the Incineroar is really good in this one. Knock off Will-O-Wisp, Parting Shot, and Fake Out.
No Flare Blitz.
No Flare Blitz on this one.
Flare Blitz list. Well, it is on a rain team, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Rillaboom has Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, U-Turn, and Fake Out, which makes sense as you're always sending out the Rillaboom to counter things like Electric Terrain. In some cases now, countering things like Psychic Terrain.
Indeedy.
So
Misty Terrain from a prankster Whimsicott.
Well, you know what? Let's not say that it doesn't exist because I've seen it once. Pelipper with Protect, Weather Ball, Hurricane, and Wide Guard. I love Weather Ball on Pokemon. Anytime I see Weather Ball on a Pokemon, I'm like, ooh, they've been thinking.
I run it on my Torkoal and it actually helped me.
Yeah, you've been thinking.
Yeah.
See?
Did I tell you? Ooh, I went against a. Okay, back to my NAIC.
Do it.
I was up against the Calm Mind Ogre at NAIC, and I had a Hatterene and an Indeedee on the field. Yeah, it was Calm Mind Ogre. It had 3 Calm Minds set up, and I only had Indeedee and Hatterene in, and I had 1 turn left to Trick Room.
I thought you were saying Ogre Pawn. My bad. No. I was a Kyogre. Obviously, this is a Kyogre. I'm saying you're like, why would an Ogre Pawn ever want to Calm Mind?
It was my last turn of Trick Room. They just protected the turn before, and they were full health. So it's like, okay, yeah, I got 2 special attackers. You're +3 special defense. There's nothing you can do. I had Psyshock on my header.
Oh,
I helping hand boosted Psyshock with Life Orb, one shot the ogre. It was funny.
that's so depressing.
It was
so
even more
depressing.
sad when they smacked their head.
Yeah.
They're like,
that's a switch in the trash kind of moment.
oh,
That's unfortunate.
They had my team sheet.
They had the
it
team
was
sheet.
there.
That's what I'm going to say. Is like they had the ability to see what would have happened, but
It's funny because they gave me one of these. I guess they were trying to catch me on a team sheet error. They were like, stare at the team sheet log, saw it, and then.
You know what probably happened? They made the same error that people make when they're creating the team sheets. They probably saw
Read
PSY and was like, oh yeah, okay, that's psychic. Wait,
Yeah.
huh? Eyes pop out of their head. Well, wow. Psyshock.
So I mean,
And then
the rest
Raging
of my
Bolt.
team was fine. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Back to an actual good team. Yeah, Patrick's team's pretty good.
You just like fully switch channels over to your own team.
I'm just like, I just need to change the Terra.
Sure. Yeah. Raging Bolt with Protect, Thunderbolt, Draco Meteor, and Thunderclap is just a good Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is still the reigning champion of the the electric type, I guess, Pokemon that show up at our regional tournaments.
It won. Unfortunate.
It won.
I'm glad an American won the NAIC though, or at least
Yeah.
a North American, I guess. If a Canadian one, that's cool too. But
Oh, thank you. Consolation prize, huh? Good for you, you patriot.
It's very diverse top 8 though. If you think about it, only 2 Americans.
Sure.
There's that China, Spain, Brazil, France, Australia, all around.
Lots
It's almost like it's an
people.
international championship. Crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's true. I always think it's like a national championship, but it's not. It is an international
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's the North America that kind of throws me off. Because it's like, no, it's not just North America. It's just North America happens to be where it's held. In the top 8, the most used Pokemon was actually Urshifu. Whether it's single or rapid, it's pretty much 50-50, but actually more rapid than single. I think there was only like, what, 1 single? Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
There were 2. There were 2 single strike Urshifus out of the 7. 5 rapid strike Urshifus. Same as Incineroar. 5 Incineroars as well. Then I think below that, it's like 4 Rillabooms and 3 Iron Hands.
Henry Rich is the one out here cooking.
Yep.
Brought a Volcarona instead of an Incin. Brought an Overquill instead of an Ursh.
He didn't have time to train an Urshifu, man. He didn't have time to go and play through Sword and Shield.
So he said, screw it, Overquill. Okay, real quick. I'm going to see what this Overquill does. Gunk Shot, Crunch, Acid Spray, Protect. Oh, it can Acid Spray, lower your special defense, and then you can Water Spout.
You could, yes. Or you can Acid Spray into anything that Landorus wants to do.
Yeah.
You can Acid
Choice
Spray
Scarfed
into...
Landorus. Whoa, okay.
Yep.
Who needs Life Orb?
Well, actually, here's this, right? Is your Overquill has Swift Swim. So you send out your Kyogre. If Kyogre happens to go down, you send out Landorus, and suddenly it's like, oh, boom, boom, boom. Let me finish you off.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. And you still got the Rillabooms to, take care of all your terrains. You've still got Volcarona to Rage Powder things away, so your Landorus can keep on going hard, or your Kyogre can keep on going hard. I mean, just looking at this, like right off the bat, I'm thinking like Overquill, Kyogre lead, Rillaboom in the back, and I guess either Volcarona or Landorus. Rarely would I send out the Tornadus, but I guess if I was like
only if you're trying to match them, yeah.
Right. Like if I was seeing a lot of weather, then maybe I'd want to bring the Tornadus instead of the Kyogre. I don't know.
Also, Ghost Hair on Ogre too. It's interesting.
There's a lot of fun tech that you can do with this. I'd love to sink my teeth into this team sometime. That rocks. And that's NAIC.
Yay!
Wow.
New Orleans. Woo!
Let's take a minute break. Now there's only 46 people in attendance here. So in Hong Kong, over the weekend, there was also a Pokemon Championships. The Asian Pokemon, what's that called? Oh, just the Pokemon Company, right?
They all have different, like there's TPK for Korea. There's the Japanese one. It's Play Pokemon Asia. Is what you can say.
This is the Pokemon Company Hong Kong. They had a tournament on June 9th. There were 46 people in attendance. Probably because everyone was flying over to NAIC. No, it's not true. But this is where the top 2 get their, actually, whoa, it's way more than top 2. Top 8 get their 2024 Worlds invite.
They have a lot less tours than we do, so.
Right. So it rides a lot more on those ones. I'm still going to talk about the top 4, I think, because that makes sense. And this group, like, are you looking at the differences in the Pokemon?
They're
here?
cooking. Yeah, I know this team is this group of people are cooking. Yeah. I see. Listen, in top 16, I see a Gothorita, so I it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, exactly. You see a Gothorita?
Gothita, whatever. Where? The middle one, number 16.
Yeah, that's true. Top 16. Wow, there it is. There's a Gothorita there. What's going on here?
It's technically tankier than Gothitelle, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm gonna go with.
They ran out of rare candies, guys. That's all.
Right, exactly. I'm gonna go with the in-game names here, just for obvious reasons. But in 4th was Deceive, who brought an Urshifu Rapid Strike beside a Torkoal, a Calyrex Shadow with a Mean Shao, an DDF, and a Tornadus.
Okay, they got a Trick Room package here. Interesting.
Yes.
With just Torkoal and Indeedee as the
setter,
setter.
Yeah. Like they have a Trick Room team, but they have Trick Room on their team.
Yo, respect that Torkoal for running Fissure, though.
For real. For real.
Torkoal got Fissure. You got Expanding Force on your horse.
Mm-hmm.
Feint is like low-key one of the best moves to have next to Calyrex Shadow.
True.
So the Mienshao having the Feint there is great. Just because you can't protect away from the damage. Like, sorry, you're getting hit this turn.
Yeah. I'm seeing the Tornadus with Rain Dance beside the Urshifu Rapid Strike as well. That's just big, like, beginning of the turn damage right there. Yeah. Especially because the Urshifu has the Choice Scarf. So you have Tornadus with Prankster. For those who don't know, Tornadus with Prankster use Rain Dance, and then Urshifu Rapid Strike hit really fast, really hard with Surging Strikes. It's a Stellar Terra type too, so if you want to, get just that little bit of extra damage in there, you can always Terrastalize. But this Urshifu has a lot of different moves too, so it really takes advantage of that Stellar typing.
Big fan.
So yeah, Deceive got their 2024 Worlds invite. Sakana came in 3rd with a Miraidon, Farigiraf, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, Whimsicott, Entei, and Okidogi.
Brother, but the Dogi. Double Dogies.
Dogi. Yeah, it goes so many Dogies. Look at all the Dogies on this team.
Yeah, look at the Whimsicott.
2.
Nah, you don't think Farigiraf is a dog?
Giraffes are just dog variants.
It's long dogs. Yeah.
Just long dogs.
The long way.
Miraidon's just a mystic dog.
Oh, Ground Terror on this Farigiraf too. Yo, they hate Miraidons. They're like, hey,
sure.
I love Miraidon, but I also hate Miraidon. So I'm going to run Ground Terror on mine.
Yeah. So why, maybe you can explain this to me, why bring the Miraidon?
At all?
Yeah. Like what's working? Hurts. Sure, but what's working well with it?
With it?
Team? What's synergizing here?
I think it works well with itself, Michael. I don't think it needs help.
You're probably right.
There's no synergy. The synergy is, hey, I'm going to blow you up with a Volt Switch for no reason. It's like,
sure.
If you lead wrong into me, I will punish you.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I don't know. Like I'm just used to seeing like, I don't know, a Raging Bolt or
some
an
Quark. You were
expecting
a Quark Drive here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
at least one Quark Drive. You know what? There's an electric seed on that Farigiraf.
There you go.
I'll take it.
We found
the synergy.
There's the synergy.
Here it is. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's a team. I haven't seen Entei in a long while, and loving that it's still there.
E-Speed's nice.
E-Speed's nice.
Also, an Assault Vested Entei does well into like the meta. A lot of the special attackers.
Good into the meta.
The meta.
Mm-hmm.
This next team is what's interesting. Ooh.
Yeah. So second and first, the way that it works for the Pokemon Company Hong Kong is they get their 2024 Worlds invite, but they also get a Worlds Round 1 bye, as well as a travel stipend, which is, that's great.
That's crazy.
It's a fun little trip to Hawaii that a bunch of content creators got. I'm not salty.
I am.
Yeah. So Choi Yin Feng came second with a Choice Specs Miraidon, Farigiraf with Electric Seed. There it is. There it is again.
We found
Iron Hands with the Assault Vest with Quark Drive. That's the one as well that we've been talking about. We got an Ursaluna with the Flame Orb Guts. We've got Whimsicott with Focus Sash Prankster. And we've got Earthworm with Leftovers and Earth Eater.
Unschlurm the worm. Here we are.
The worm has been unschlurmed.
We have an unschlurmed worm. Listen, I legit think Earthworm's one of the coolest Pokemon ever. And this what's interesting about this Earthworm is like you'd expect it to have Shed Tail or something. Nah. It's like I'm just gonna click Iron Defense, Body Press, and Heavy Slam, and then good luck Fluttermanes.
I can kind of appreciate that it doesn't have Shed Tail, just because you've got so many Pokemon that are, well, you got two Pokemon that are weak to ground, and then you've got an Earth Eater. You're not actually switching Earthworm out for another Pokemon. You're switching Earthworm in to take that ground type move.
The thing is, it might not look like it. This Earthworm is actually like anti-Koraidon, right? Koraidon, because you are a Miraidon team, Koraidon is your worst enemy. The thing that Koraidon does is fire moves. And in Koraidon, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess you'd say, the meta doesn't have heavy fire types right now. So now, Koraidon with Fire Terra and Flare Blitz is like the way to go for fire types. Earthworm doesn't care because it Ghost Terra. So then suddenly you have +2 in defenses and you can't get punched by Collision Course anymore.
Sure. Okay. So you can get away from Koraidons while also
with
just
the Ghost
being
Terra.
Earthworm. Yeah.
And you can just eat up ground type moves too. You have Earthquake on your Ursaluna to heal you up.
Oh yeah. Right. We've got Earth Eater for that. I love that.
Unaffected by Earth.
Yeah.
It's great to be ineffective by Earth when you have 2 electric types on your team. One of them being Miraidon.
Sure.
Just
I mean, you could also do that with Iron Hands too if you just terrestrialize grass.
Fair.
You know, you can Guts, Flame Orb, Earthquake with an Iron Hands beside you and do that incredible spread damage. Although at that point, most of the time you just want to facade.
I don't have the hat on, but Moon.
There you go. Perfect.
Moon.
Moon. And then coming in first, so you're saying that Earthworm is kind of the Koraidon, is the way around Koraidon. Coming in first was Hamey, who brought a Koraidon, Grimmsnarl, Fluttermane, Raging Bolt, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, and a Golden Go.
Choi just didn't bring the Earthworm to the third match.
That must have been it. That must have been it. Should have brought the Earthworm. That's the second Cornerstone Ogerpon in top 4 here.
I feel
it's
like
interesting how that's working.
I don't know. Turns out 100% accurate. Actually, if you keep going down, there's more Ogerpons that are Cornerstone. 100% accurate rock moves with 100 base power are pretty darn good or something.
Turns out.
I feel like I've heard this before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like. Do you think Ogerpon was Cornerstone Mask was just ahead of its time?
I kind of think so. Yeah.
We all just ignored it because we wanted a grass and water type.
Well, right, exactly, because one had the Intimidate, right, and one had Water Absorb.
No Intimidate.
No,
it had
what's the fire one?
Gave itself a +1.
Oh yeah, right, of course.
It had Mold Breaker. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody liked that, and nobody liked Sturdy. Nobody was like, "Oh, I'm here for Sturdy."
Ooh, I have a +1 in defense.
In defense, and then with Spiky Shield, you technically have double Sturdy.
Double Sturdy. Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. We love Cornerstone Ogerpon with Spiky Shield, Follow Me, Power Whip, and Ivy Cudgel. Brought the Golden Go with Make It Rain, Power Gem, Nasty Plot, Protect, Raging Bolt, had Thunderbolt, Thunderclap, Draco Meteor, and Weather Ball. Oh, there's a Weather Ball on the Raging Bolt.
That's different.
Thought about that. That's great.
Wait. Oh, there's also no weather on this team.
right?
Oh yeah, there's sun. There's sun. Never
Well,
mind.
yeah, there's Koraidon.
Fire move on a raging bolt. Now you can hit grass types. Yeah, that's a great.
Mhm.
Honestly, great. Yeah.
You got your Fluttermane with a Moonblast, Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, and Taunt. I haven't seen Icy Wind Taunt in a little while, but there's the Taunt. Sphericals Beware. Grim Snarls. Single, just one of them, Grim Snarl. With Foul Play, Reflect, Light Screen, and Thunder Wave, same as the one that we saw before. And Koraidon with Clear Amulet with Collision Course, Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, and Protect.
I like seeing how the terrestrializations are changing depending on the meta. Because now you have things like normal Terra Golden Go. You have things like ground Terra Grim Snarl. Grass Terra Fluttermane. It's crazy.
I heard from one of the people at NAIC, just kind of walking around after their match. They're like, they didn't go for Terra Normal Golden Go. Why didn't they go for Terra Normal Golden Go? And they were like cursing it out.
So he punched something. He tried to read it and go for close combat or something.
Yeah. It's just like,
it's such a good Terra for Golden Go.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
But like, congratulations. The only type, the type you're turning into only has one weakness, and that one weakness is immune to your original typing.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Okay. So as is tradition at this point, after NAIC, Kevin and I tend to go pretty hard into Pokemon Unite.
We get frustrated with the game, so we play a different one that is adjacent. Yes.
It's probably part of that, yes. But it's also, we're winding down the competitive year. We're not going to Worlds, and we know that we're not going to be practicing for that. So we look at Pokemon Unite and we're like, okay, so what's changed about this year? Mm-hmm. The last time we did that, Mewtwo was there, and Mewtwo was ruining the game, and it was bad.
We tried to play it and then gave up playing it after a night of losing probably 6 or 7 games in a row to just Mewtwo. We're just like, okay, this isn't a healthy game right now. Let's put this away. Let's come back to this later.
This time, when we came back to Pokemon Unite, we had a wonderful time. Absolutely wonderful time.
We're doing nothing but playing Inteleon and Umbreon at the Airbnb all day.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was fun. Umbreon is really, really good right now, it feels like. Inteleon is really, really good right now, it feels like. I played a couple games this week. Decidueye still feels nice. I love playing Decidueye. And I want to kind of get back to figuring out what the good Pokemon are.
We've also been having a league itch that we're not scratching, but this is the closest thing we can get to it.
Actively not scratching the league itch. We refuse to let it happen. We're doing everything in our power not to let it happen. And there's going to be a new Pokemon coming out. Is this Pokemon isn't out yet? Yes.
No, it is. It's out. It just came out today.
I should have known. I was playing. Ceruledge is out today. I feel like there's been a big obsession with Ceruledge just in the Pokemon community for the past year. It's Mega Man.
It was is it on this?
This one's 0. Is it on what?
No, okay, these are Paradox Mons.
Oh, those ones are all Paradox. Okay. Well, if they had a little bit more room, they would have put Ceruledge on there for sure.
True.
Have you had a chance to play with Ceruledge yet?
No. I just learned that it was in the game by opening up Cerebi in preparation for this podcast.
Well, there you go.
So no.
Maybe we'll get a chance to play it today, but let's start by going over its abilities. Its abilities and attacks. Look at you. You know what? I kind of miss that I didn't get the NAIC hat this year.
What did you guys? Oh, they just gave you 3 packs, right?
Yeah, they just gave me a bunch of packs that I gave away.
It's actually a nice hat. They tried hard here.
Yeah.
Like the other hats were just like the starters. Mm-hmm. This one they actually it says Pokemon World Championships and has the year on the side too.
I'm going to a Blue Jays game tomorrow for Pride and every year they give out like a little piece of merch. So last year I got like a towel that has all the like Pride colors and big Blue Jays logo in the middle.
All the Pride colors. They're giving out every color.
Yeah, exactly. Assembled in a way that this year I'm getting a hat, and I'm very excited for that hat. But yeah, anyway, gonna need to get there on time. So let's look at this Char Cadet and Ceruledge here. As a Char Cadet, the Pokemon gets Flame Body. The ability says when the Pokemon with this ability hits opposing Pokemon with a basic attack, it deals damage around itself with flames.
Oh.
This ability goes on cooldown after it's triggered.
Interesting. So you just have like AoE damage next to yourself. I'm wondering if this is... Do you think this is melee range? It is, right? Yes, it is. Okay, it is a melee Pokemon. So that actually helps you with wave clear. That's good.
Sure. Exactly right, yeah. So that's... the cooldown isn't all that bad either. It's a 4-second cooldown. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And then when it evolves, it gets weak armor. That's its passive. When the user takes attack-based damage, Ceruledge's movement speed is increased for 3 seconds. So when the user takes attack-based damage, so it runs away real nice. Or
it runs away real good.
Runs to you real nice. Oh, it can like close the distance in like ranged attacks as well. This effect can stack up to 2 times. If Ceruledge deals damage to enemies with basic attacks or moves, the enemy hit receives a wound. Oh, okay.
A wound.
A wound.
You stab them. Yes.
Yeah. When you stab them, it leaves a mark.
Well, it depends. Are they a plant or an animal?
Well, let's find out. Life energy leaks out of these wounds for 3 seconds. You know what? That kind of sounds like either.
Life energy, yes.
Yeah. Causing damage on hit and then every 0.5 seconds.
Wait, that's just... They said blood, right? That's just...
Yeah, this is a bleed.
They said life energy?
Yeah.
They can't say bleed.
They can't say bleed. Because Pokemon canonically do not have blood. This effect can stack up to 6 times, each stack after the first, adding 50% of the first stack's damage and refreshing the duration of the damage over time.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Mike?
I might be. If the effect stacks 6 times on an enemy, that Pokemon takes 15% increased damage from Ceruledge.
This is Darius.
Oh, this is Darius.
This is Darius. That's not good.
Yeah.
This is scary if this is Darius.
Okay, so we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. I'm not gonna look ahead, but if they have an execute after you have full stacks of weak armor or whatever on the Pokemon, this Pokemon is Darius.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So as a Char Cadet, auto attack becomes a boosted attack every 3rd attack. That's standard.
That's standard, yeah.
Attack with Ceruledge becomes a boosted attack every 4 attacks, kind of like Umbreon. Umbreon's like that now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dealing damage twice. Oh.
What?
The next basic attack after using a move becomes a boosted attack. After evolving to Ceruledge, basic and boosted attacks have an additional 15% lifesteal. Just like Darius.
So it's worse than Darius, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so here are the abilities. We've got Lava Plume. Torch the area around the user with an inferno of scarlet flames, dealing damage to enemies hit. This, the user's next basic attack deals 15% increased damage. Okay.
It's a dash too. It's got gap closer.
I don't hate it. I just think that it doesn't do too much as a Char Cadet. Like it doesn't really serve the early game that well.
It's a level 1 move.
Yeah, it's one of those like you really want it to level up before you like start engaging with team fights.
This is good if it's a jungler though, because you can dash through some walls and stuff.
That's true, because like damage is really all that you need when you're looking at that. Lava Plume at level 5 becomes Bitter Blade. Bitter Blade, Ceruledge focuses bitter feelings toward the world of the living into a slashing attack. I do not need to read the first sentence. I never need to read the first sentence. The user recovers HP equal to 35% of the damage dealt with this move. Not bad. Damage dealt to wild Pokemon only heals for half of the normal amount. So this is the anti-jungling. Or maybe it just does so much that...
It's just balancing.
Just balancing. Any HP recovered that exceeds the user's max HP is converted to a shield. Oh, that's cool. So it's a Bloodthirster.
Oh, God. It has a built-in Bloodthirster.
Yeah, sure does. And then at level 11, it increases the amount of HP recovered to 50% of damage dealt, up from 35.
Jeez.
That's a level where you will start to feel the change in the attack. I find that like sometimes you don't really feel the change in your moves between level 5 and level 11. This one I think you'll feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a 35 to 50. That's 15%. Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
It's meaningful.
If you don't go for Bitter Blade, you can go for Psycho Cut. Psycho Cut launches a blade formed by psychic power in the designated direction. Skip the first sentence. Actually, dealing damage and applying a slowing effect to enemies hit. Okay, not bad.
Okay.
Enemies hit by this move have their defense decreased for 4 seconds. If Cerulege hits enemies with a basic attack, this move's cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds.
So you either want damage reduction on your enemies or you want lifesteal on yourself. That's what you're choosing from here. Would you rather kill them quicker or live longer?
I'm trying to figure out where the synergy is with weak armor. Because weak armor is like you want to get hit, so you're faster, you're moving toward them. I feel like Cerulege really benefits from these one-on-ones.
Yeah, it doesn't seem team fighty right now. It seems like
Right.
I'm gonna either gank a lane or solo a lane, or just 1v1 a Pokemon.
Right. So if because if you 1v1 with Bitter Blade, then you're going to live more hits.
Yeah.
But Psycho Cut seems to be the thing that takes them down faster.
The other thing worth mentioning is that the damage on Bitter Blade is actually higher because it's 200% of your attack versus 160% of your attack on Psycho Cut. And Psycho Cut has a longer cooldown by a whole second. So I'm team Bitter Blade right now, but my mind could be changed.
That's fair. If you get hit by 2 basic attacks, then the cooldown's reduced to exactly what Bitter Blades is.
Okay. But then you have to
get hit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you don't have lifesteal because you're not using Bitter Blade. I don't know.
It's a hard choice, man.
It's a hard choice.
You know what that is? That's a well-balanced move.
Yeah.
If I'm having a hard time deciding, they did a good job.
Yeah. I'm sure like the tier lists are like, oh, one is definitely better than the other. But like at first glance, it doesn't look all that different. Yeah. Second move is Takedown. Has the user charge recklessly in the designated direction, dealing damage to enemies hit. The user's basic attack speed is increased by 30% for 3 seconds.
Okay.
And Lava Plume increases your basic attack by 15%. So you're increasing your attack speed and your basic attack if you just like dump everything on them.
Charcadet still kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. You at least leveled a Cerulege at level 5, so it's not that serious. You're not gonna hang out with these bad moves the whole time. It's just the dash.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if the damage output with Flame Body and with just dumping all of your attacks on them as a Charcadet, I wonder if that like is enough to actually like get you KOs at the beginning of the game. It feels like it's kind of weak, but it might absolutely not be.
I have a feeling this is going to be like one of those routes in Gardevoir situations where it's like you're really just trying to get away from routes as fast as possible.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get away from Charcadet as fast as possible.
Yeah, you don't want it dumping attacks on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and then Takedown, which is, by the way, move 2, can turn into either Phantom Force or Flame Charge. Phantom Force, dash and disappear into darkness where Cerulege hides for 1 second.
Wait, you disappear? You're gone?
Yep. Yeah, you're gone.
That's already the best one. That's already the best. Oh, okay. Except downward.
Except while hiding, Cerulege cannot move. Okay. When this move is used again, or after 1 second has passed, the user appears in the designated direction while standing around themselves, dealing damage while slashing around themselves. Not standing. I was like, what did that? Dealing damage that ignores defense and shields of enemies and applies a slowing effect to them. If this move hits an enemy, this move's cooldown is reduced by 30%.
Okay, Aurelia.
I will say the next move has to be really good for me to not think that this is immediately the best one.
Yeah, I mean, there's becoming immune to anything. A well-timed immunity. You get to be immune to ults. You get to be immune to a lot of things. Not many things in MOBAs last longer than a second. Right. So to be immune for a second is really good if you time it well.
Well, because like Gengar had that. Gengar
They
had
took
that
it
thing where
away.
it disappeared and then it reappeared and did a bunch of damage. They took it away.
Yeah, they made it not
This
immune
one-
anymore.
This one ignores defense and shields and applies slow. And if it hits, the cooldown's reduced by 30 seconds, so 30%. So it goes down from 9 seconds to 6. Like that's good.
It is
Ooh,
a long
and then
cooldown though for
level-
9 seconds.
Level 13, it goes down to 7 seconds. So you might be going down to like 5 second less than if you
5
actually
second
hit something.
immunities, yeah.
That's really good. Flame Charge is the other move. So at level 7, Ceruledge Edge cloaks themselves in flame and charges in the designated direction. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep. Dealing
So good.
damage to enemies hit. Great. Cerulege's basic attack speed is increased by 20% for 3 seconds after using this move. A maximum of 2 uses can be kept in reserve for this move. There's a 1 second cooldown between each use, which is reduced with cooldown reduction. Oh yeah, I forgot that's an actual thing in this game. And then at level 13, Ceruledge's basic attack speed is increased instead for 5 seconds after using this move.
Bruh.
I think Phantom Force is way better.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the way you're trying to play, right? If you're trying to go attack speed heavy, sure. I don't think personally melee characters with attack speed work too well, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I agree with that. Like ranged characters with attack speed, amazing because you can just pew 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 pew, run into the bush, run out of the bush, pew 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 pew, keep on going. This one I think synergizes well. I see the synergy there with Psycho Cut because you can drop their defense and you can just attack them a lot of times. Chop 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 chop. But I think that both Psycho Cut and Bitter Blade, which is move 1, synergizes just fine with Phantom Force.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So here is the clincher, right? Here's
I love the
Unite
names
move.
of these
Revenant Rend.
because they don't follow like standard Pokemon move names. They're just like something crazy.
Right.
Revenant.
Exactly. Revenant Rend unlocks at level 9. Ceruledge charges both of their arm blades, gaining unstoppable for 0.5 seconds before slashing through to the designated location faster than the eye can track.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. We're going faster than the eye can track here.
Okay, Sonic.
Okay, Sonic. Ceruledge leaves enemies hit unable to act for 0.7 seconds and applies a mark to them. After 0.7 seconds, Ceruledge slices marked enemies with 3 slashing blows. The mark can be cleansed, preventing the damage. Okay. I mean, you have 0.7 seconds to clear the mark, but whatever, sure.
But no one has cleanse. Who runs that? Everyone runs eject button, guys.
Right. And then for 6 seconds, you have 30% movement speed, 30% cooldown reduction, and 20% max HP shield. So you're going to want to enter battles with your Unite move. You don't want to like run in there, flame charge, Psycho Cut, Unite move, because then you're going to have too much stuff on cooldown. You're not taking advantage of the 30% CDR. You walk in there, you Revenant Rend, and then you just go to town with the rest of your stuff.
Sounds about right. There was no execute, so it's not Darius.
It's not Darius, but it still does have that blade.
It does have a blade, yeah.
Believe you apply it 3 times with your Unite move.
And the thing with the damage on the mark, it says damage times 3. Oh, because you're damaging 3 things at once. So what is this? Like you touch them, they wait 0.7 seconds, and then the damage goes ching 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 later? I guess so.
Yeah, probably.
That's interesting. That's good for if they're trying to run. Ching 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 ching.
I suppose another way to get in there is just a Phantom Force in, but again,
depends on how big the dash is.
That's the thing with Phantom things on cooldown.
That's the thing with Phantom Force and Flame Charge. They might have different dash ranges that might change our mind. We don't know the actual length,
of
that dash. Yeah. Like if Flame Charge is astronomically larger, fine. I'm a little bit more sold, but who knows?
I would love to see just like Phantom Force from the bushes. Like, I feel like that's just an easy engage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're definitely going to try that out as the week progresses.
There's Cerulege.
There's Cerulege. We have Q&A, but honestly, I want to dedicate a bigger portion of next episode to the Q&A because
it should be a couple of slow weeks until until World, so that's fine.
There is that, but also I think the question that I want to ask this week kind of builds off of that last one.
Okay.
So if you want to go and answer 2 questions, you can go on over to the Spotify Q&A section, if Spotify is your platform of choice, where you can answer this question and last episode's question. And then next episode we'll get into it and it'll be super fun. I'll put it in I'll pin the question on the YouTube comments as well. So if you use YouTube, if YouTube's your platform of choice, go ahead and go to the YouTube comments section and answer this week's question there. It'll be the pinned comment. If you listen anywhere else, maybe you listen on Apple Podcasts, you might want to go and drop a 5-star review. If you go and do that, then we may just go and read it. And I'm going to prompt you to do that for the next episode, please. And I will go and read something out. But the shout out that I have today is actually from somebody called The Rave Train, who went and sent an email to Pokésportspodcast@gmail.com. I wish I had said this at the beginning of the episode, but we're getting it in. He went and he sent like a whole itinerary, I guess, a report of things to do in Edinburgh, which thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to Edinburgh for Fringe Festival in August, and that's coming up real soon, pretty much 2 months from now.
4 Worlds, yes.
Yeah, 4 Worlds. And I am absolutely looking for stuff to do, and I'll be reading through this, and I'll send you an email back as well, just to, personally thank you for that. But I really, really appreciate that. Cool. So yeah. Anyway, if you want somewhere else to go, youtube.com/Pokésports or
patreon.com/Pokésports. Hey.
Cool. There it is. And that's a podcast. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening, and bye-bye.
Bye.